How you guys doing? Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. And we are giving you part 2 to getting comfortable being uncomfortable with a vital business asset. Once again, I said this is the House of Business Podcast. I'd like to welcome you guys on in. Thank you guys for watching this podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0, where we give you the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and visions. We thank you guys, all our listeners, everyone that is connected to us with the House of Business Incorporated, the House of Business Podcast, Thompson Tech Electronics Company, Thompson Shoe and Clothing Unit, and Thompson Square Gardens Restaurant Company. Thank you guys for just checking out those subsidiaries and just all your orders, man. We just want to thank you guys for all of that. Okay, so part 1, we went over 4 key points to getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, a vital business asset. Number 1 was embracing discomfort as growth. We're just saying about true growth happens, outside of your comfort zone. Number 2 was adaptability in a rapidly changing market. The business, you always have to be able to pivot and adjust to economic shifts, technology advancements, and consumer demands. We went over a lot of that in detail on the first part. We also, number 3 was take calculated risks. Risk taking is essential for innovation and scaling the business. And number 4 was facing rejection head on. It's okay if you get those no's, like we talked about. If you get those no's, a lot of times no, it's just redirection. Rejection is redirection. That's how you have to look at it. There's nothing bad about being rejected. Sometimes those no's can obviously save you from some bad deals, or don't pressure anything, because later on down the line you can save yourself from something that you didn't need to be in the first place. That you just really avoided some unnecessary turmoil in a business partnership and this business in general. Okay, so this is getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, and this is part 2. So part 2 is, we're going to start off with number 5 and went through 1 through 4. This is number 5, building mental toughness and resilience. This is something that's very needed. If you don't have any mental toughness, if as soon as someone says something to you, let's go back to rejection. As soon as someone says no, here you go. You're crying and you're whining like a little baby. You're not built for business. If you're a daddy princess, in business, and you always get your way, and as soon as someone tells you no, you're going crazy. You do not need to be in business. You need to go through some rejection. And life is full of rejection, but you need to learn how to deal with that rejection. You need to cultivate emotional intelligence when someone tells you no, when someone lies on you, when someone mocks you, when someone betrays you. You need to build that mental toughness through all of those sufferings. If you avoid suffering, if you are avoiding suffering, you are avoiding the gem for mental toughness and resilience. When you get told no and you continue to work, when you don't see the results that you want to see, and you continue to work, have you ever worked all day, on your job or anything like that, or just dealing with entrepreneurship? If you work all day and you still do not get the results that you want, or that you are anticipating, but you continue to work the next day, that is exactly what resilience is. Resilience is, I didn't get the results I wanted. I didn't hit the numbers that I wanted in sales today. We're almost behind on rent, even with our retained earnings, even with, and you just continue. I don't have the amount of customers that I thought I would have when I launched this business, but you just continue to be resilient. You're hopeful. You're basically saying that, if I continue to work, even though I'm not seeing the results now, it's going to happen as long as I don't give up. So keep that hope, build that mental toughness and resilience. Entrepreneurship is a mental game. It is not, it's 100% mental, and I would say 100% spiritual as well. You need that mental toughness. Developing resilience helps you to keep moving forward when things, seem overwhelming. Do not think for 1 second that there is any entrepreneur, CEO, any business owner, I would say even any employee that has a good run every day. No, every day is not going to be the same. You're not going to have the same good run every day. You're not going to feel 100% every day. You're not going to have a peak performance every day. There's many a days where I have so much I need to get done that I feel like I need to get done, but other things get in the way. Other things kind of get in the way. There's always someone trying to set a roadblock. There's always someone trying to put a speed bump on your progress, for whatever personal reason or whatever mental illness reason or, whatever that is, jealousy, envy, whatever it is. I call that a mental illness. I call envy, jealousy. Just someone intentionally attacking you through, lying. And that's a mental illness. Because it only happens when people do not know who they truly are. They don't know how to be authentic. They do whatever everyone else does. They go along with the trends just so they can fit in. If you cannot be alone, be an entrepreneur. If you cannot sit alone, be alone. Learn to be a leader. Learn to take mockeries, backstabbing, betrayals. Go through suffering. And still have a good attitude, still have a good outlook on life, still have a heart to help people to reach their full potential, even though there's going to be people that you help and you pour your resources into, and then they're going to turn around, they're going to throw you under the bus, they're going to lie on you, and they're going to act like they never knew you before once they climb up that ladder. So, that's just things you have to deal with, and you have to be mentally tough to deal with those types of things, because entrepreneurship is a mental game. Okay, number 6 is networking and public speaking, overcoming social discomfort. I also had a brother, overcoming social discomfort. I had a brother that went to Iraq. He went to Iraq, 4 tours in Iraq. When he came back, it was really hard for him to be social. Certain places he couldn't go, and I can understand that, dealing with the trauma of being in a war zone. But a lot of us are like this in business. Like, we've done 4 tours at Goldman Sachs. We did 4 tours on Wall Street. And we just had so much trauma that it's hard. We have so much social trauma, and now it's hard for us to be social again. There have been times in my life where I have went through traumatic experiences dealing with business, dealing with relationships that almost made me go into a shell and say, man, I'm just not dealing with people anymore, for the simple fact that I wasn't going to bow down to the social norms and the modern society's rules. So I was like, well, it's best if I just stay away, because if people cannot use their resources, their spirituality, their whatever they use to get you to submit or to compromise on your own personal values and beliefs, they'll probably lie on you. The next move is to probably lie on you, gather people against you, start a smear campaign. If they cannot get you to submit and you beat them at the mental game or the spiritual or social game, they will start a smear campaign. They will gang people up against you. They will try to push you out of the place that you're meant to be in life. They would try to, use whatever connections they can to lower your economic status. They'll just go so far. And a lot of this starts with silent competition. What I've learned in society is there is a lot of social discomfort. When people are intimidated by certain types of people, instead of getting to know that person, instead of exchanging information, pouring into each other, trying to develop a relationship, when people are intimidated, what they'll do is they'll attack what they don't understand. And that's because that's cowardice to me. If I see a woman, and she's intimidating to me, That's a challenge. That's something that I need to step into. Or if I have a job offer or a business offer or international business partnership that is intimidating, I'm like, well, I don't know if I have the manpower or if I have the resources to tackle this contract. But what I will do is I would take that on. I would take that contract on just for the simple fact that, it gives me a challenge. It helps me to expand what I'm doing. So, man, back to what we were talking about. Networking in public, speaking, overcoming social discomfort. A lot of people struggle with networking. Pitching your ideas and for investors and leading meetings. But you have to do it. You have to get out there. You have to take the steps that you need to take to say, I want you to speak at this conference. You've never spoken at a conference before, but it's like riding a bike. As soon as you do it once, you know what I mean, and that anxiety is over, do it again. Once you do it again, the second time you're more comfortable. The third time you do it, you're soaring. So, start to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Do the things that challenge you, and a lot of things that challenge you make you uncomfortable. But once it's done, once you get the fear of tackling new projects out of the way, you can basically do anything. Once you break that barrier, there's no turning around. There's no turning around. Life will try to put you back in a box. You get one contract, then you get another one. You're just like, oh man, I don't know if I could tackle this thing. But don't second guess yourself. I'm not saying just blindly go into a deal, blindly go into signing contracts. You know what I mean? Read it thoroughly. If you need legal advice, get legal advice. But don't doubt yourself. Now, be honest with yourself. But it's okay to take on a challenge. Take on a challenge. It'll help you expand in many areas of your life than you think. And what we just said, the more you practice, the easier it becomes. Number 7 is learning to delegate and trust others. Now, this is probably the biggest point. Number 7, learning to delegate and trust others. I had so much problem with this. With me wearing every hat in multiple businesses, which I started as an entrepreneur, as a serial entrepreneur, it was hard for me to trust people with certain tasks or just to give them access. Now, we did another podcast that was The Art of Delegation. You guys should go back and you should listen to that. It was called The Art of Delegation. And we was basically saying that when you delegate tasks, you are basically handing over keys to an individual to certain doors and certain rooms and certain spaces in your business that's classified. Not every place is classified, but you are giving your employees a clearance level into certain aspects of your business. So learning to delegate and trust others. A lot of people struggle with control as an entrepreneur, and letting go and trusting your team can be uncomfortable. It can be very uncomfortable trusting people with certain aspects of your business. Like I said, I had a lot of problems with delegating tasks. It was horrible, and it will cripple you, and you will not be able to scale your business. You need a team. You can make $1 million alone, but you can make $100 million with the team. You know what I mean? And help your team to make $100 million as well. So, so learning to delegate and trust others. Like I said, many struggle with control and letting go of trusting a team is uncomfortable. But delegation is necessary to scale a business. If you do not learn how to delegate and to spread out authority amongst your peers and your team, you're not going to get a lot done. There's many a days that I have to do certain things that I don't want to do. I don't want to sit and do marketing all day. I don't want to sit and type articles, or even if I'm using Chat GPT for some articles, I may go back and modify and revise and modify certain areas and aspects of the article. But just kind of get a base to it. But at the same time, I want to spend time, expanding my vision, for the business for the next 10 years. There's a lot of things that I'm doing that I'm capable of doing that I don't like to do every day. I don't like to do social media marketing. I don't like to, I should hire a VA. I've had multiple VA virtual assistants. I've had a team, with Times Square Gardens Restaurant Company. I had an international team, which is still in place. An international team. I had a HR director from India, a marketing director in that certain subsidiary from the Philippines. Our customer service rep was from the Philippines. We had the IT tech, he was from Nigeria. Like, we had a real cool, everyone got along. We had meetings probably every Thursday. It was great. It was a great team. Amazing team of people. Just by the situation that I was in, our contacts are good. We're still good, but because of the transition of the business from one state and one location to another, it was best that we had to downsize for the time being. But if you learn to delegate, and that was my first run as being a serial entrepreneur and being a CEO of that particular business. Times Square Gardens Restaurant Company.com. We're still available in the New York City area. If you guys like catering, corporate catering, wedding catering, we are still available. We still have those services up and available. Private chef services as well. If you have any autistic kids, we have a dietitian, and we also have for specific menus that's tailored to autistic children. We know it's hard for kids to eat certain things they don't like to eat. They like certain types of foods, but what we do is we have a private chef come in that's dietitian certified, and they're also trained in dealing with autistic kids, and they will kind of learn what the child likes to eat. So we do have those services. We do make it fun. We also have we are launching our first children's cooking class. It will be in New York City. We'll disclose the location. It will be in Manhattan. We'll disclose the location. It will be launched April the 6th, which will be on a Sunday, I believe at 9 a.m. We're having one class at 9 a.m. and we're having another class at 6 p.m. But the 6 p.m. class is not it's not confirmed as of yet, but we are April the 6th, 9 a.m. We'll have our first children's, our kids chef class, which is Caleb's Corner. We will launch that in Manhattan. So just be on the lookout for that. Stay on the lookout for updates. But number 8. So we just went. This is once again, if you're just not tuning in, this is part 2 to getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, a vital business asset, a vital business skill set, as I should say, that you need. We went over 5 through 7. 5 was building mental toughness and resilience. 6 was networking and public speaking to overcome social discomfort. 7 was learning to delegate and trust others of your team, which was a big one for me for a long time. And number 8 is making decisions without full certainty. Okay, now this is a big one as well. Making decisions without full certainty. There's a lot of time you're gonna have to take risks, like we went over in part 1. Take risk taking, but take risks strategically. But there's gonna come some times where you're just gonna have to jump. You're gonna have to walk the plank. You're gonna have to say, okay, I don't know how this is gonna go, but I'm gonna have to take this risk, and you're not gonna have full certainty of how it's gonna turn out. There's many times I launched events. When I first started Times Square Gardens Restaurant Company, we used to buy venues. Now we had clientele, we have clients, but our clients were spread out throughout the United States. So we have clients in Wyoming, Colorado, Texas, Arkansas, Tennessee, New York. Our clients were in Missouri. Where else? UCLA, in California. We had so many high-ticket clients, but they were spread out throughout the United States, and we were launching our first opening in Oklahoma in a small town. It was like a historical small town, like where no one knew where it was. But all our clients were so far away from that location, but we launched it anyways. No, it did good. We were at the Martin Luther King Center. It did good. And then also I've had to cancel 2 events as well. So I've launched 2 other events and canceled those events, but it was a learning process. The first event, I went and paid for the venue. We went ahead and launched that event. We put the flyers out at the last minute. Our U.S. Foods truck order, or it wasn't that one. It wasn't U.S. Foods. It was someone that I sent to the store. I believe we were in Muskogee, Oklahoma. They was like an hour away at Sam's Club or Kroger or someplace like that, someplace like Costco, but I believe it was Sam's Club. And they did not make it back in time. I don't know what happened. In Oklahoma, the weather's crazy. I don't know what happened, but they didn't make it back in time. We had probably about an hour before we launched. We had people lined up. People were still contacting us like, man, when are you guys going to open? The food was coming so late. We tried to prep the food the day before, but the lady that I purchased the food through, who was supposed to be my designated person to go and get the food and meet me at the venue. We couldn't meet that night before because I guess she had to work all night or something like that, and then so we were going to meet that morning, and things just fell through. Fell through twice. So I paid multiple hundreds of dollars to just rent venues, set the venues up. And they fell through. The third one, so I've spent and I wasted a lot of money, a lot of trial runs. But I've learned to make sure, that I've gained experience from that. I'm going to make sure that everything is together before. It's a lot that goes into it. You have to make sure that the space is available. Once you learn that the space is available, you want to make sure that, you have the food already. You have to make sure that everything is already set in stone. The food purchase, you have to write down everything that you need for that day. Every product that you need. Or if you have to order it online, just to make sure you can get a full price, order it online. Even though you may go to the store and get it, order it online. And once you order it online, you will make sure that you take that number and then probably add $100 to it, and that'll be your budget. So you always got to have a budget when you do launch these projects. So have a budget, try to stay within the budget. If you go over the budget, that's fine as well. You'll probably make that money back probably within an hour or two after launching that event. So, but yeah, so man, making decisions, man, without full certainty, man, you're gonna have to make a lot of decisions. You're not gonna have all the numbers. You're not going to have all the information that you need, but you need to take risks. No business decision comes with 100% guarantee. Learning to move forward, without all the answers is a key trait to high performing leaders. So, you just have to take those risks. So, as I said, man, this is House of Business Podcast 2.0. It's your host, man, Caleb Thompson, man. If you guys tuned in last week, we went over, getting comfortable, being uncomfortable, a vital business asset. You can go back and you can listen to that. I believe that we launched it on YouTube. It's also on LinkedIn as well. And we have another episode, I believe it was episode 14, where we went over the art of delegation. So go back and listen to the art of delegation. This is 8 points. We gave you 1 through 4 on part 1. This is part 2. We gave you 5 through 8. So man, you can go over all those again, and we'll meet y'all here back next Saturday at 6 p.m. Once again, it's House of Business Podcast 2.0. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. This is a place where we give you the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and visions. And we'll see y'all next week. Peace.